Alright everybody, welcome back to the American Dota League. It is season number 2, game number 2 here in our first series of week number 2. It is going to be NA Rejects versus Osiris Gaming here in this 2-game series. Game number 2, like I mentioned, the first game going so very well for the NA Rejects. Of course, this new star-studded team led by, of course, the veterans, Snake King, as well as Korok, Brax getting involved as well in a lot of those early team fights and just pushing the pedal to the metal, as they'd say. And, of course, with an easy Game 1 victory, they'll look to continue their dominance here in Game 2. But thank you for joining us. My name is Mont. With me is Kyle Guy. How you doing, sir?
Mont, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back. And, of course, thanks for everyone for tuning in and watching some good old-fashioned American Dota League Season 2 as we begin week number 2 here. NA Rejects just made their debut, and they did it with strong fashion from beginning to end, claiming game number 1. But this is a 2-game series, and Osiris Gaming, they're looking to even things up. They're pretty much on a streak so far. Each series they've played, they've evened it up. So let's see if they can continue that trend going.
And honestly, Osiris have the potential to bring this series back. I mean, they're they're a very strong team. I think we've seen flashes of brilliance from them. If they can get the draft going their way, and if they can kind of right the ship and just not get caught out of position and not have their supports essentially get absolutely destroyed. I'm not sure if Richard and Willies are the same player, but Willies is here now. I believe Richard was probably a stand-in.
Yeah, I would figure so. Willies has always been good about using his own name, so I would just imagine that this will be Willies. The question is, what position will Willies play? I've seen him play support to the core, so who knows? But I'm already intrigued, Mont. First band's coming out. No Ember, no Lycanthrope. One of these two heroes will make the playing field.
Yeah, I don't think Lycan's going to get through. I'd be very surprised if any Rejects let that hero go. That hero is, I think, just too strong. Ember could control the game, but I think maybe not as much. You could shut him down, but I don't know. I guess it really comes down to what any Rejects want to play up against. I guess you can lock down a Lycan. He's not that bad, but his damage is just disgusting early on. You get that Vlad's into an early Necro 3, and all of a sudden you have so much damage potential coming out that really it's real tough to deal with. So they have to make a big pick here, and one of those heroes is going to get picked up regardless. I know Osiris know this, and I'm sure they're banking on one that they favor more. Probably the Lycan, I'd say, who's just, well, okay, they're both available. And the Rejects, they're like, all right, if we can't get one, or if we can't get both, or just make sure that they're both available, essentially, so they can pick up one, if not.
Yeah, I would put pretty much all my money that this will be in either an Ember or Lycan pickup, and then, yep, there's the Ember. Now here comes probably a Lycan bring back, I would imagine, and we'll just see what NA Rejects tried to build on top of that to try to shut down this Ember. I mean, Ember, you know, he does have a few
Invoker
kinks.
I think.
You know, and Invoker's also a great grab. Oh, wow, I'm surprised he even made it through the pool. So if they manage to grab the 1-2 punch like an Invoker here, that would be very nice. Now they're going to move on. Another 1437 Dazzle. So, wow, interesting enough. I really liked the idea of the Invoker because the mana problems are a serious issue with Ember Spirit. That EMP and crowd control just works very nicely against him, but they're going to let it go.
Yeah, and honestly, I think, and they could have put up the damage too. They could have put up the split push if you went for Quas Exort. I gotta stop. I gotta stop with the Quas Exort, man. I've got an addiction apparently. So, but they're gonna go for the Marauder for Osiris this time again. Os played in the last game. He had a couple good arrows, but
yep, there it is.
Yeah.
They're not going to pick it for themselves because they probably feel Ember Spirit's going to be their mid laner, so instead they're just going to ban it and not hand it over. So I wonder if monkeys are scratching their heads here. If they should have probably picked up that Invoker, but that will not be the case. I mean, we've seen other few funny things here and there. I've seen a Lycan go to the mid lane. You know, with these players, they've played a lot of different roles in all the different teams they played on, whether it's Quantic, Dignitas, you know, Liquid, what have you. I mean, they've been all around the block. So it just, yeah, LGD in. There's just so many. So, you know, they could change roles.
Yeah, I mean, I expect them to, and that's kind of the cool thing about this team is that they have a lot of potential in terms of where everyone can play. Snake King alone has played like 3 or 4 different roles. Korok is known for he used to be known for his Morphling carry. That was kind of his go-to back in like the TI2 days. Anti-Mage was one of his strong suits as well. Then he started kind of playing with Liquid, and they switched him up with 1-2, kind of going mid sometimes, kind of going to the safe lane farm sometimes. He, in and of itself, he alone could honestly, I think, just take down and pretty much play every single role if he wanted to. Brax, obviously, he's played a lot of roles. He played 3 for Quantic, played 4, I believe. I mean, no, he played 3 as well for LGDN. He's playing 3 now, I believe, as well. And, yeah, they just have a lot of versatility. And that's something you can't really say for a lot of different teams. I guess Liquid, as it stands right now with their new roster, you can say about them. Osiris, they lost their drafter. What? What classic? Get back in here, man. You've got a draft to run here, my friend.
Reserve time.
We'll see if they end up dipping too far into reserve time, and we'll just see what ends up coming of it. But, you know, this is still Group B. Group B typically runs best of 2 game series, and Group A, which typically goes on the weekends, are a best of 3. And I was going to lead this into Mob. What do you think? These new, you know, NA reject team, do you think they can, you know, put up a good challenge against some of those Group A teams?
I absolutely think they absolutely can. NA rejects are, I think that they'll definitely, they've got a good shot to make the playoffs, first and foremost. If they do, then they can easily take a series away from Team Liquid or even Team Dog. I mean, those teams are very strong, but it's a bit early to say. I mean, because they have to work out some kinks. The good thing is they got here early on in the season. They're in the season now. They're in the ADL, and with the more games they play, they'll have more chance to practice. And you could kind of treat these as scrims to a certain extent. Not to say they'll have a free ride, but I don't know. I don't know what just happened. Apparently, Classic's not reconnecting. I have no idea why, but
yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going to come of this. I mean, obviously, the reserve time is going to tick down to nothing, and it will be a random ban. I guess they might have to just let it slide. I'm not sure technically what's going to come of it, but they are trying to figure it out, and that's why it's taking a long time for them to set their pick.
The ban actually, yeah, as you can see, it doesn't ban anything. It just like it takes all the reserve time off.
Yeah. So
essentially, what they needed to do was do picks by chat, and they're not doing it right now. So I don't know exactly what's happening. Usually we get some sort of, what do you mean use bonus time or something?
He's probably asking. He's probably asking
all
every
bonus time.
Yeah.
Oh,
they want them to use their bonus time to try to save as much time as possible.
All right, I
not be 2 p.m.
I feel you. I feel you. Okay.
Reserve time.
Well, goodness. What a draft this has become all of a sudden now, with Classic as well as the purple player, who I believe is SN, disconnecting right out of the game. And man, this is not what you wanted to see in the start of your second game. It's just like, get right into it, get into the action, let's go, let's watch some Dota. Drafts, not so much. Yeah.
Meanwhile, somewhere in someone's house, an apartment, computer room, office, what have you, someone is screaming out, "God damn it, Comcast, Time Warner Cable, what have you?"
I mean,
why is this happening to me? And
listen, we've all felt that way.
The potato of a modem is crapping on itself.
The worst is when you're in the middle like of a cast, and it's like a big cast, it's like a big deal. And
or talk show.
Or talk show. Please.
Yeah.
Well, you know, listen. It happens to the best.
It happens. It happens. This is not things we want to happen. It's not like we purposely go, let's just screw it all up and pull the plug on this one.
We can't have like, we have to, I think what's going to happen is we'll probably have a remake and we'll go from there, I think.
I mean, the ban on Bane is obviously legit, and they did use all of their, you know, basic time with it. But yeah, they're definitely prolonging this one. They ban out the Bane, which is typically, you know.
Oh, he's back. All right, we made it. Woo!
So one giveaway ban. I guess we'll just kind of move on from here.
You could just say what he wanted to ban. I wish he would like.
Don't pick it, please. Just, that would have been our ban, please.
Play on. So I guess they missed the third ban, and that's it. This is like the only time I've seen this happen, where like a team just doesn't get like a fourth ban, essentially. Okay. I mean, I'm down. I guess. It's your guys.
At least it was a ban and not a pick. I think it would have been much worse if it was a pick. And they're like, well, we would have banned Sand King. We would have.
Yeah, we wouldn't. That hero wouldn't have been in the pool. Come on.
No, start over, remake.
Seriously. But no, they'll pick up the Sand King, and a hero that has lockdown, and Epicenter's going to do some work, and Sandstorm jungling, very nice. But the issue here is he's going to be sharing the jungle potential with Lycan if he gets shut down in lane, which can happen. I mean, it's unheard of, I know. Lycan, the all-powerful laner, getting shut down in lane by somebody. It can be an issue, I think. And
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, with the Sand King jungler right now, it's a bit greedier. We saw Liquid do it yesterday with against Dog, and it just didn't pay off. I mean, they got like a quick blink dagger. It just didn't really work out. They just couldn't get levels. They had to have two heroes in the jungle kind of just splitting experience, and it really didn't go their way. But you look at Osiris Gaming, they're still going for these kind of like arrow combos. You saw the telekinesis last game. They're like, all right, that didn't work out for us. What can we use now? Let's go with disruption. Maybe that'll work out. You know, and that's what it kind of seems like for Osiris here.
It's fun. It's kinky. You know, why not? You know, if you're not going to get the Bane, just use Shadow Demon as a combo, and you can play very aggressive with it. You can have a very strong, dominating lane presence with it, and of course, Shadow Demon has plenty of tools, plenty of defensive tools, rather, with that disruption. So, can't really hate on that. But as the story goes, man, it's just going to be what can we do for this Lycan? Now, a lot of teams I've seen using one of the supports and going like with a jungler. That would add a little more pressure for the NA rejects to kind of divert one of the supports from the lane that Lycan is in and go try to address the jungle. Right. And because Lycan needs those two supports there, you know, to ensure he'll have the space to build up the farm. I mean, yes, he has plenty of things to work on his own. His wolves are unbelievably overpowered, just so insanely good. It's definitely going to be hard times here for Shadow Demon. And now they go into a Venomancer, which has a little bit of push on his own. You know, it doesn't hurt having the extra dot, but this is someone who doesn't really have a disable to work with. Right. It's a bit of an intriguing pickup. I'm not too sure. And then any rejects for their carry, they're going to pick up Justin Weaver.
Yeah, honestly, this is a very... It's kind of making me scratch my head with Osiris Gaming and their pick up the Venomancer, because your number one issue, I think, is dealing with a Lycan and a Weaver, both of which have abilities that give you move speed that's pretty much unimpeded. And Venomous Gale is something that impedes move speed, but it only slows. So you're not only going to have to hit disruptions and arrows, but Searing Chains as well. Otherwise, you're not going to be getting this Lycan shut down at all, or the Weaver for that matter. Lycan obviously hitting level 6. You can shut him down earlier than that. Weaver obviously with Shikuchi. Difficult to deal with all game, and it seems like NA rejects know this. But on top of all of that, I mean, it just seems like Lycan's going to get some farm. He'll get his Vlads quickly, whereas Osiris Gaming, Ember can get a bit later on. He'll start getting his items up and doing the damage. And then Centaur again to round it all out. A very greedy lineup, I feel like, for NA rejects, but it certainly might work. I don't know. Maybe even too greedy, I'd say.
I mean, I guess if you can't really pass on a Centaur. I was about to say it right there. I'm like, I'm really surprised Centaur still made his way through this one. Both teams definitely need an offlaner for themselves, and first picks will go over to Monkeys, and they're going to fall back with a Timber Saw, which is more of a direct counter towards the Centaur himself, you know, the big beefy man. Sand King also has a bit of beef on him, and it would work fairly nicely, I guess, against the Lycanthrope. He has heavy burst to work with, but... all in all, I'd be cautious. There's still plenty of disable coming out from any rejects with the help of Sand King, Centaur, and even a little bit of Poison Touch. I don't know. I don't know if it's enough to bring back Osiris' team. I definitely think they're a little hindered in this draft, but we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, NA rejects went to big lots for that Centaur pick, getting it the 5th slot. You don't see that too often nowadays with the way the draft has worked, so they'll get that going for them. Korok's going to pick up the Weaver here, and they're going to switch things around a little bit. We saw, like you talked about last game, Dazzle played by 1437 doing a really nice job, but this time he's going to be on the Sand King. So as it stands now, they can switch roles up. We'll see a couple, you know, obviously good players on some decent heroes for both sides, but it really comes down to, can this Ember Spirit do enough damage early on? Can they hit the arrows that they're really needing to hit in this game? Otherwise, how well are they going to shut down these heroes that they need to shut down, like that Weaver, like that Lycan? So with all of that said, we are going to jump in. It's Osiris. And of course, this game two-game series coming out between Osiris as well as the new team, NA Reject. So for Osiris, we've got Guanzo, solo safe lane again, this time on the Timber Saw. In the mid lane, SN, got to be on that Ember Spirit. Top, you've got Classic on the Venomancer. Os will be on the Mirana, and to round it all out, Willies will be on that Shadow Demon.
And on your dire side, it's not Team Kappa, it's the NA Rejects, and Brax is going to be your top safe lane Centaur. And in the nearby mid area, you see a little 1437 waits on his Sand King, looking to guard out the top rune. Mid lane will be occupied by Snake King on the Lycanthrope, it looks like. So I talked about it very briefly. It's been done, and it can be done. With the help of the Wolves, you can get some very easy last hits in, and definitely a little extra scouting coming out with, you know, checking out the runes with them alone. And your bottom, it's going to be Korok on the Weaver, and finally Dismech will be support once again on the Dazzle. And I can't help but feel like this Ember Spirit is going to have a real hard time snowballing, getting all the pickoffs he typically get with this NA Reject team. They have a lot of durability and a lot of support, especially from the Dazzle.
Yeah, and honestly, you talked about the Lycan mid, and this is something that's very scary. And once his Wolves get up a couple levels, then you're just going to get out harassed. And this is a matchup I've actually played a decent amount, so like, it's surprising that Lycan mid works as well as it does, but it's pretty good up against an Ember early on. I mean, if you go Flame Guard, what's that going to do for you after you push your wave out? You've got to go for Searing Chains and Sleight of Fist, probably max both of those out, and the 3-4-1 kind of build going the way of SN right now. But It's going to be a dual lane again coming out from, you look at NA Rejects, it's Brax in 1437. Of course, Brax has got to, 1437 has to sit in the jungle and Sandstorm and stack things up once he gets that level 3 or level 2 Sandstorm. So that's something that's dangerous, but it's not quite like that last lane where you've got a Lich to kind of just deny all the creeps and keep things under your tower. So they've got to play a bit more passively because of it.
Yep, they're blocking the pool right now. They're trying to take care of it right away. It's going to be tricky. Both heroes have a little bit of meat on them, and of course, with the help of the Burrow Strike and the Sandstorm, it's not going to be the easiest task to take either of them down. And Centaur himself is already very, very meaty. Bottom lane for NA Rejects, they're playing very aggressive, but we were expecting that. Timber saw he is going to be able to get close enough with that reactive armor point, and if he does build into that, it's going to be hard to take him down as well. So the story goes, offlaners pretty hefty. They should be able to be under too much trouble. I mean, the lockdown from this lane isn't going to be too much. The story is going to be about Korok getting those last hints as the Weaver.
The thing is, though, and something you do have to keep in mind is that the Timbersaw is not as inherently tanky as he used to be. His strength being nerfed in that last patch, obviously. So, I mean, he will take harass. Luckily, he has a stout shield. I mean, he should anyway, and of course, the reactive armor as well. So, it's not a surprise that Guanzo is okay now. I mean, he only has 1 point reactive armor, and Korok doesn't do the most damage as of yet, but he can soon. So, they'll have to be careful. But in the meantime, really mid lane matchup going even, it looks like, for the most part. SN actually leading in last hits, Searing Chains in the Sleight of Fist. Now, maybe getting got on there. Snaky taking some damage. He actually has to Bottle Crow his bottle, running right back to him. 1437, stacking up a couple of camps here. Looks like he's got to try to, he's got a jungle, he's got a choke point jungle. Nicely played coming out from 1437. These creeps continue to wrap around here.
He knows that Centaur is going to be able to hold his own in the lane, and he even has the equilibrium in his favor of the tower to get that CS as long as he can last it. And he's already got 9-0, so this is very good for a Centaur solo up here. And 1437, of course, no surprises. Sand King with the help of the Sandstorm and can easily farm or just get this nice, apparently very skin alleyway here, preventing all the extra auto attacks coming his way, and just find that farm, build it up for himself, try to get that Blink Dagger, which we see Sand Kings go more often than not. And as rune control goes, it looks like Snake King will be able to grab up this haste rune in the bottom lane for himself. So he bottles it right back up, runs right back to the lane, and as you can see, Ember's doing a little bit of the Bottle Crow himself.
Yeah, and this is what you're going to see from both sides. If one doesn't get rune control, the other will Bottle Crow and just make sure they've got mana to use their abilities, whether that's Sleight of Fist, whether that's his Wolves. There's a couple of options there. It's important to note he went for an early level on Hal just for his teammates. That extra damage coming out was really nice to have and could even provide a kill, especially considering bottom and the amount of damage Korok and Dismech can pump out in a burst scenario. But now it seems that NA Rejects have forced, again, Osiris to play their game. This is 2-1-2. Dismech getting caught out. Venomous Gale might be first blood. In fact, no grave coming out. Korok has got Shikuchi away. He will survive, but nice Timber Chain. Shoutouts to Grant for getting an item. Nice.
Oh, man. This courier still needs to be upgraded. There it goes. Finally, it does get upgraded right there. I mean, Dismech probably was too busy being in a little bit of a fight there and fed over the kill. And Osiris now able to pick up the first blood for themselves. So very nice on their part, But still, I would say, nothing too significant coming out from either team. I mean, we'll have to see how things go. I mean, they're not going to be able to get the Centaur down. Not that I can imagine. I mean, they'd have to land one heck of a combo with the Disruption and the Arrow, and then have enough, power, the perfect Soul Catcher, a nice Starfall, what have you. But this guy's pretty durable.
Yeah, he's very tanky right now with the amount of health he's got. 796, but really, I mean, 3 armor as well help out. So Brax, and I think the bigger thing as well is the Stomp. The Hoof Stomp is really nice. So, but as it stands now, I feel as if Osiris are having a better laning phase coming out. Yes, the Lycan's getting levels in farm, but so is the Ember here, and he's actually doing pretty well. Meanwhile, top, Disruption went. Looks like the arrow flew as well. Can they get this kill? Brax getting low, and they'll grab it. All the while, though, Korok down to that bottom lane, looking for more. Guanzo trying to get a kill on Dismech, and does. Will he survive? Shikuchi's up. The salve is going to go. Guanzo, he's got Timber Chain ready in the chakram. Big kill for Guanzo. What a turnaround. Taking down Korok, staying a bit too long. What a salve coming out for that Timbersaw player. That was outstanding.
The salve and the reactive armor was just enough to survive, and man, that burst just blew up literally right in Korok's face. He didn't want that to happen. Brax now shows his face in the bottom lane, but man, Osiris Gaming, they're putting on a little bit of a mini clinic here in the early game. I like it.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to grab another kill, this time on the Lycan mid. They are getting kills all across the board, roaming effectively, getting some decent CS on top of it all. So 5-1 early on, and this is a far cry from that previous game. You talked about how I felt if NA Rejects kind of can, if they can make it towards the playoffs and take down those top tier teams. They're not playing like they really want to right now. They just formed, so we'll give them some slack, obviously. And I feel like I'm being a bit too overly critical here. It's still early on in this game, but it's not a good start for them nonetheless.
I can see where you're coming from, though. Just from the games they've played, it hasn't been many, of course, and they're still trying to find their rhythm and groove with each other, trying to work on their chemistry, but it seems like when they're doing well, they're doing very well, and when they're not doing well, they're not doing good at all, and we're seeing the start of that, but, I mean, this is a Lycanthrope game, and it doesn't take much for him to be able to take control back of this game.
Yeah, and really, it comes down to Shapeshift, which he does skill up now. Vlad's and maybe even Boots of Speed at some point. Now we'll see a rotation out. They'll send a Centaur elsewhere. Korok and Dizmek are going to go to the top. They're done with that solo safe lane Timberswag. Guanzo has, like you said, put on a clinic, and he's pretty much now getting free farm here in this bottom lane. Plus, of course, the kill's going his way. He'll continue to get some items and maybe even a quick Bloodstone if he wants to. Brax sitting on 6. He has Stampede and a Haste Ruin. Who's he going to find here? Oh, Classic in the jungle. Oh, no! Brax, he just missed him. He could have went for that kill. Oh, but the Haste Ruin had just run out, so maybe not, but still very close, but no cigar for Brax, as he could have picked up a kill on that very low Venomancer heading back home.
Had he been in that position just a little bit sooner, things would have worked out very nicely. There goes a bit of a sleight of fist coming out, trying to harass down, but Lycanthrope, man, looking to push forward. I think he might try to put on a little bit of damage on this tower sooner than later here, but regardless, trying to build up early, we'll see. Snake King's Lycanthrope, is he going to go with some sort of, early Necro book? You can see he's going for the Vlads right away, so if he decides to grab that up, he can do the Roshan sooner than later. I remember watching the Summit recently, and Hani himself was talking about how Medallion is just such a great item. It allows you pretty much to get a free pick-off on the Roshan. Just that minus armor works so good, but we'll see if it's something he falls back on, but Vlad's will be the first thing on his list.
Yeah, I think it'll be Vlad's, Boots of Speed, and that Medallion. You see that so often for Lycans on the dire side, just because Roshan is just such a big objective and can give you such a boon, but that's not going to be really helpful if he dies in the mid lane. Stampede's going to go, as maybe some heroes getting caught out of position. Timberchain down bottom, Brax, he's going to get Chakram. Stomp is up. Is there a rotation? It will be enough. Guanzo's got no mana. They actually cancel the TP. Dizmek top getting caught out with an arrow going through, and Korok in trouble. He's got time-lapse. Ops going for the damage on Dizmek, but cannot get enough done there to grab a kill. Shallowgrave not even used. So a lot of action happening across the board, and no kills going anybody's way in the past minute or so.
It looked like Korok wanted to make the rotation potentially the bottom lane, but might have been caught out by an arrow, so potentially Oz doing a great job throwing it out and preventing him, cock-blocking him, people, from making a move to the bottom lane, and now they're going to just go ahead and push forward with the help of the wards. This tower is slowly withering away. The fortification is already pulled out, but I don't think they'll be able to stop this one. Timbersaw is eager to hang out nearby, but Guanzo doesn't have too much mana to work with. Now, he does have the Arcane Boots in 5 seconds, so it'll be a little bit of something, but we'll see if any rejects even want to try to help defending this one out.
And right now, they're actually going to go top for Osiris. There's going to be the Soul Catcher.
Nice.
Arrow, Korok in trouble. Nice grave. He's got a time-lapse and Will. He's alive. Will he go for Willies? He's got to be careful. Soul Catcher doing work. Sentry Ward on the ground. Will he go back in for that last hit? Will he be greedy? The Swarm. Is it going to connect? Yes, that might get the kill. Here comes 1437. Korok now. Starstorm getting canceled. He's got no mana for Epi. He's so close to that blank. The Starstorm hitting up. The right clicks are there. Korok wants this kill. No mana for Shikuchi. Now Essen rotating up. You've got to get out of here. 1437, so close to the arrow. Korok will fall with that last right click going through. The double kill coming out from the Rana, just barely. The Sentry Wards being so effective coming out for Osiris here, grabbing the kill that they desperately needed.
They still want more. Defense because they caught out Ember Spirit on the hunt. Gets him with the fist. Takes him down. Osiris Gaming pulling it up. 180 from last game, doing serious work. Man, those supports immediately pulling out the sentries when Korok made his rotation to the top. Very promising performance coming out from Osiris Gaming right now.
He was so close to that Blink Dagger. He just needed like one creep wave, like 2 creeps. Oh no. And he can't get it now. He bought something. It looks like I think he bought boots. He didn't even have them, I think, at that point. Maybe, I don't know what else, but that's problematic.
It's one step further from that precious Blink Dagger, and
yeah,
it's definitely going to hinder him a little bit here. And Lycanthrope now moving up in the jungle, trying to get that farm while the wave is pushed out. There's already pings to go out. I think Osiris already are onto the game plan that Roche might be a viable option here from Snake King in the near future. They're looking to scout it out, but he will not be there. He's busy, farming out in the jungle instead. So, man, we'll see if Osiris can keep this wave of momentum going for themselves.
I mean, it's 8-3 right now. If we look at the graphs, they have an almost 3,000 gold lead, which is nice, but certainly not insurmountable. And I've said that so many times. And It's gone the other way. 2,000 experience lead. Time lapse out. Us maybe going to get caught out here by the poison touch. He's got leap, so no real harm done there. And a TP actually rotating up from the Shadow Demon as well, just to make sure he survives. So, and I was actually going to say that maybe the turnaround factor will hold that thought. Willie's getting caught out. Stampede's going to go through. Nice disruption. Korok maybe looking for more. Soul Catchers are up on that Weaver. They've got to be careful. Willie's, though, getting blown up. Timbersaw, though, going down as well as he picks up Brax, but Sand King getting the kill. It looks like he used the Epicenter as well. A big kill to take down Guanzo. That's really nice to have go their way. Really nice. And I was actually going to say, that's what you need to keep in mind is 1437 have been in the jungle for pretty much the entire game thus far. And that one rotation is not a good, it's not indicative. Oh, top lane. Oh, nice grave. Snake King staying alive, gonna bottle up. SM with the haste, the sleight of fist, just in time. No, doesn't get the kill. Now SN, he's got to leave. He's got to back off. He can maybe try to put some harassment. Korok as the Sentry Ward is still there, but ooh, Korok's got time lapse in 1 second. He should be okay. Time lapse gonna fly. SN, all of his mana spent. He still has a bottle charge, but now getting chased down. Chains are gonna fly. Guanzo's here. Korok, you've got no mana. Oh, that was not a good chase. He gets blown up again.
Oh, it's called the Auric, man. Timbersaw just rips apart that bug, takes him right down. I was gonna praise Guanzo earlier before he got picked up in the bottom lane. He's been securing a lot of farm for himself. He had already gotten the arcane boots and had already acquired about 1,800 gold before he died, and it looks like he's going to invest in a Blink Dagger himself. You know, a bit off the mark from a lot of Timbersaws going for the Bloodstone, but definitely a strong initiate factor they want, and they're thinking about initiating here on the Brax. Brax have to run back right now. We'll see if rotations come. There's the Blink going to work, baby, and man, Brax gets ripped apart. Rotations to come. 1437 jumps in with the help of his Blink Dagger and the Burrow Strike. Now Korok moving in. Sakuchi to go out, but the Sentry Wards, my God, Guanzo ripping apart once again. This man is a machine, literally.
Yeah, he's been doing work, and I love the Blink Dagger pickup coming out from Guanzo, and they just blow up Weaver every time. 1437 getting caught out, Searing Chains, classic calls for a pause, which at this point I don't even know if it's necessary. Yeah, that's a little, I don't know about that one. 1437 backing off right now, and he's level 9, but he might not survive this engagement. Dismech does have the Grave, and he's actually casting the animation right now on 1437, and SN has got no chains. He's got no mana for Fire Remnant as well. All the meanwhile, snaking down bottom, pushing into this tower, looks like he wants this tier 1, and he might put some pressure on, but it's just been a constant barrage of heroes dying in this top lane. Korok cannot get anything going. He's got to invest into treads early on with a Bracer and a Ring of Basilius. You rarely see this from Weavers. They like to go for Midas or even just rush a Lincoln Sphere. And right now, that's not really an option for Weaver, I think, for Korok at this point at 12 or 13 minutes in.
Ideally, by this time, Weavers usually will have their either Perseverance easily online, working towards the Ultimate Orb or what have you, and he's definitely been hindered a lot. Going with the Power Treads, you need some sort of durability, but man, this Timbersaw just ripping apart the team. Even their tanky Centaur can't really stand up to him, and he knows that. That's probably why he got this Blink Dagger. He knows he can capitalize on any sort of catch-off, so he's jumping in, and he is doing his part. Guanzo, typically I find more often than not the MVP for this team, and he's showing it right now, and it looks like finally Skype will be back into it. Will they get Theban here?
Ooh,
the arrow, I heard it fly out. Oh, doesn't matter. The fist more than enough to take him down. They want more. Dismic. I crash mod, so go on.
All right, Dismec getting chased down under his tower. Sleight of fist. There goes the grave finally, and Guanzo, just a pure nice play coming through to secure the last kill in that engagement with the Timber Chain. He'll blink away. And all the while, yes, Snake King's pushing bottom, but they're losing so much. They've lost so many heroes. Now there's going to be TP coming from Willie's. They're going to use that Soul Catcher. He's going to miss. The disruption flies. Another TP's going to go through. Snake King's like, all right, I'm not staying now. Time to get out of here with that shapeshift. And with 2,000 gold in the bank, maybe goes for that Necro already. That Medallion, not really going for it. And Stomp top, misses Sleight of Fist. They want the tower denied. Can they get it? There it goes, the Stampede, the Stomp as well. Double Edge, they want SN more. And now the deny. Brax with a great individual play. At least getting something going for NA Rejects right now. All of a sudden, and it's definitely worth it just to use the Stampede for that kill alone. Nice play coming out, getting them back on the board. Necro 1 about to be completed for Snake King. 5,000 gold though, going for Osiris. 4,000 experience as well, and you didn't really miss much, my friend.
Well, it sounded like a great fight, Mod. Sorry I wasn't here to observe. My game apparently just, I don't know, has cancer or something.
Guanzo, Brax, oh boy.
Brax goes down again. This is supposed to be your most tanky tank on your team, and he is being taken apart left, right, and center. 15-6. Osiris Gaming, man, they're coming right back in this one. I was talking about how they're the kings right now of evening things up, and they're just showing it right now, trying to take this game back.
It's important to note, and I think it was Guanzo, when he played for ASN +4, Timbersaw was actually just coming out at that time into captain's mode, and I believe Guanzo was the offlane at the time, or 4, it might have been 4, who played the Timbersaw first, and ASN +4 kind of just showed me what Timbersaw could be in competitive setting. It's kind of come full circle. 1437 getting arrowed. Well, that was a lot of damage, and it feels like they just got counterpicked. It feels like NA Rejects got counterpicked with the Timbersaw coming out last. It just seems that way anyways, and whether or not that's true, it doesn't necessarily matter. Is the score is 16-6 and Guanzo, well, he's doing work anyway, so either way, Blink Dagger, now the point booster's up. You talked about the Bloodstone, that'll be the next item choice, and they'll try to take the Tier 2 tower all the meanwhile.
Yep, and just looking so good for them. They're going to grab this tower, inherit that gold. Looking to funnel it forward towards the Ember Spirit so they can fall back on him for, a bit of a late game here. It could potentially be a Battle Fury next. Actually, rotation to come out. Will this be a quick deny? Also to defend. Starfall, nope, will not get the deny. Quick pick up there. Snake King happy to grab it for himself and will make the rung back. So, still a little bit of life, but they're looking to cut him off here. Willie's coming in from the north. They're going to flank him right here. They can't decide if they want to fight or not. Snake King on wolf form runs up, runs back now. He sees where Shadow Demon's, but he's got so much mobility. Looking to make a pullback. There we go. Big ultimate. Korok leading the front. Os can't find a way out right now. Gale will fly on Korok in the meantime. Arrow goes out. Will miss the mark. But Os with very low life trying to catch up, and Korok will actually pull back. TP will get him out of there. Successfully, all of the NA Rejects able to evade the potential doom that was coming their way, but 1437, nice blink.
Oh,
quick
man,
blink gets away.
He waited as long as he possibly could for that blink to go, and that was dangerous for him. All the meanwhile, they didn't lose anything, but guess what, Osiris, they lost their courier. Nothing was on it, I believe. I think they already delivered the item that was necessary, but still 175 gold going the way of any rejects right now, but that's very little. That's just a dip of the pond, if you will. They need a lot more to get this going their way. So as it stands now, Lycan, Necro 1 is at least completed up. Necro 2 and 3 are going to be coming soon. When you hit those items, maybe you start really being able to work down Guanzo here. The issue is right now, they're just not able to deal with this burst damage. It's just, they have no BKBs up, and there's no way they're going to be able to farm them in time. And now, forward to 37, getting just absolutely obliterated. That Scorpion is dead. He's lying over, and, well, rough game coming out for a couple of heroes, really, for NA Rejects right now.
Yeah, and Lycanthrope, and they were trying to make a split push happen in the top lane, but a quick rotation to come, and they're not going to let it fall. I mean, the tier 1's still standing in the top lane, and you would hope by that, by this point with a Lycanthrope, nearly all the outer towers should be, withered down. The Roshan should have been taken down at least once, but these are things that we have yet to really see, and you can tell it's kind of crippled them. I mean, this Timbersaw is just doing everything he needs to do in this mid game, just snowball out of control and just assert his dominance. That way he can make a clear pathway into the late game for this Ember Spirit, whose own personal farm has been a little, I want to say a little slower than some, but you know what? It's just been going so nice for him, it doesn't really matter at this point. So, let's see if he could just get that Battle Fury online and try to contest what Korok and Lycanthrope could bring forward, for 10 minutes from now.
This is honestly, just like, it's just like a casual Ember Spirit game for SN right now. Like, no pressure, it seems like, just kind of relaxed. And Guanzo's doing all of the heavy lifting. I mean, you talked about asserting his dominance. He has forced his will upon NA Rejects right now. And Korok's probably scared of him at this point, just submissive as of right now. But they're going to try to change that as Guanzo getting caught out. Big stomp. There's going to be a lot of damage coming through from that double edge. And finally, the mega kill streak going to 1437, getting him some extra gold, and they're not scared of him any longer. He's down for 41 seconds, a big pickup, at least mentally, to be able to get that hero down. Necro 2 up online for Snake King, Necro 3 the next option for them. That's got to feel good, at least morally.
Yeah, it definitely's got to feel good. Just a little too much swagger coming out from Guanzo there, hanging tough in that bottom lane, and end up getting quickly caught out. Finally Centaur has his own little initiate factor on his side and trying to build forward from there. The rest of Osiris Gaming, they're looking to venture out through this jungle and just try to reclaim it. With the help of the wards, they can scout a little further ahead and just kind of take the farm for themselves. And it's leaving few options here for Korok to find his own farm. I mean, when you already have a Lycanthrope on your team, when you already have all these other heroes that need to build and farm for themselves, you know, your options become very limited. And they don't have the aggression to move out into the enemy territory and try to take their own farms. So it's feeling a little suffocated right now for NA Rejects, and they're going to try to break free rather, as Willie's might be in a bit of trouble. Nice body block from the Wolf. Yeah, nice. Catch him out with the bugs, and they quickly pick off another here. NA Rejects trying to take this one back. Careful right now, as it looks like Classic might be caught out with the help of Centaur. They're making a run in, but here comes Timbersaw. Bursting through, but it won't come. Big jump breakdown. Brax moves on to a double kill, and next thing you know, 2 are already down here. Wow, NA Rejects, just after we were starting to count them out, taking this one right back.
Korok was, his hand was hovering over that R button, my friend. He made just the best play that he could make. He was about to fall, and oh boy, did he click that R button so damn fast. My goodness, and they grab another kill. We both caught that excellent body block coming out from Snaking. He made some plays this game thus far, but it's not over yet. They're on the comeback path. They've got a ways to go. They're starting to make sure, okay, listen, we don't have to be afraid any longer. However, the issue is, and I was going to talk about this before the engagement started, look at the wards coming out from the Radiant. I'm not sure if you touched on this already, but look at this aggressive ward play coming out from Osiris. They've got so much control over the enemy jungle.
No, they got Snaking on the bottom river. He just got caught out on his own. They quickly sold him up. Ran through Kwanzo, though, getting a little over-aggressive. Has to be careful. Oh,
he's still alive.
It's down. He's hiding on the high hill, but you can't get away from Papa Shango, if you will. Brax jumps up above, stops him down, but the sleight of fist chains TP away. The arrow.
He made it. He made it.
And he gets away.
Oh my god, they're dodging bullets.
Caught out, Dazzle, save yourself. Desperate heal, but it will not matter. He ends up getting ripped apart, and now Osiris. Back and forth we go, taking 2 down now for NA Rejects.
The one positive you can take away from that for NA Rejects is that Korok is now farming, and that's something you talked about. He needs room, he needs space to get CS. He's very, very close to that BKB. In fact, he might have it in a couple hundred gold. Looks like he's got almost enough here just to pick up the recipe, as well as that Mithril Hammer. Once he gets that, the BKB is going to be so nice. Yes, he's still susceptible to the right click. Yes, he's still susceptible to the sleight of fist and what have you, but he's not going to be as scared anymore. Still, though, Osiris, they're getting items of their own. There's a Manta now in the Mirana who's level 13. Guanzo, his Bloodstone. It seems like he's had it coming for a while. It's finally getting to him at 21 minutes. That's not bad, considering he picked up the Blink Dagger first, but the Radiant team, they don't know. Smoke of Deceit gang, 1437. Epicenter's ready to go. He's got Blink. He's got Epi. This might be a huge fight coming the way of the NA Rejects. We'll see.
Come off, though.
We'll see. They're going to run right into the creep wave. Did they see them? They have no vision here. They're wrapping right around. They're making sure they're not sitting too far behind. The creep wave looks like they did get spotted. Os now backing off for the time being, but Brax looking for more. SN, he can fire remnant away. Blink forward, Burrow Strike is up, misses. Now the arrow, 1437 getting caught out. Brax Stampede, they've got to leave him behind. Guanzo continuing to chase ahead. Brax, Timber Chain further from Guanzo. Blink away. Brax wants to survive this desperately. They'll lose the Sand King, but guess who's sneaking Roshan?
Finally.
Top tower is under attack.
Finally, Snaking's like, I get to finally battle the big bad Roshan here in the pit. I have no one to worry about. This is an easy Aegis, easy life for myself. But they will have to sacrifice over a lot in the top lane. They lose 1437. Tower's already been taken down, so they don't have to worry about that. But, I mean, regardless, it's a little bit of a benefit here. But they have to be careful, as it looks like they're already going to go for the high ground. Osiris Gaming feeling very confident right now, trying to already put on early damage to the tier 3.
Yeah, they're working it down a little bit. They know they have some time. Theban's back up, and he's ready to go. He has that Epi, and he hasn't really used it except for, you know, about once this game. So he's sitting in the back currently. He can channel that up. He can even sit in the trees if he wants to. He can stay in the trees, as HY puts it so delicately. But the Battle Fury now up for SN. He did finally finish it up. His Phase Drum Battle Fury. The damage is starting to become very real. And you're kind of up against the clock here if you're on the side of NA Rejects. You don't have those items that provide that damage. You've got a couple of Blink Daggers coming through. You've got that BKB, which is an inherently defensive item for Korok. A Desolator would be huge at this point. Lycan's really the only one with an Necro 3 that can dish it out with his Shapeshift, but he might get caught out. Yeah, and it looks like he will. The disruption, the soul catcher. He's going to try to work on Willie's first. Demonic Purge is going to fly. Willie's is going to die, but maybe it's going to be worth it as Snaking getting caught out. There's the Aegis going. No shapeshift now, and this is one dead Snaking.
Hook, line, and sneaker coming up from Willie, baiting him in. But that Stampede, that move speed, he's trying to run, but you can't get away from the machine. Guanzo blinking right in, takes him apart, and Snake King will fall, and it's just all a matter of time. This Ember Spirit now with one Battle Fury complete, 2,600 gold available in the account. If he decides to build forward and even more damage, he can take out an entire push wave from Lycanthrope with just one sleight of fist. It could get that hairy real quick, and it's going to be a rough time for NA Rejects.
And we talked about it in the draft, and you know, Ember and Lycan, what we've thought might be better, and at least to ban out, and maybe even to pick here. And SN is making a case that Ember, he's really put in more work than Lycan did early on. So down bottom, maybe getting caught out. 1437. There's no mana for an arrow. 1437 is not in the best place. He can't blink away. He'll try to burrow potentially, blink up in one, get out of there as quickly as possible, and will. Guanzo might continue to the chase here, and there he goes, blinks right in the Timber Chain to complete the kill. Nice secure coming out from Guanzo, and you just kind of expect that kind of play to come out from him at this point in the game.
I mean, he should have just played it safe, immediately blinked away and got away from any trouble, but you gave the opportunity for the Timbersaw, who was lurking nearby in the woods, to just blink in and shut you down before you had the opportunity to get anything off. So another quick pick off, something that NA Rejects cannot afford at this point. In the meantime, Snake King trying to still inherit a lot more farm for himself, making his way into his own jungle. Just a nice, really close quarters play here, but Necro 3 complete. Now the Vlads, 1,600 gold. Mott, what is the next step here for this Lycanthrope?
Well, he can finish up his Trez, but we see most people don't do that. He doesn't really need the Medallion either. So maybe a BKB, Basher, and Abyssal might be a better option as well. I think one of those two items, I'd say, unless he just wants an inherent tank and he can go for that, something like a Heart of Trask. And he's actually going to go for the bots, so instead of Trez, he picks up the bots, no surprise. And now I feel like one of the only ways that NA Rejects can get that is through ratting, and or at least split pushing to a certain extent. You saw Korok work on that Tier 1 tower top. Of course, down bottom, there's been a couple of pushes coming their way, but they still have to deal with the overwhelming pressure that Osiris are putting on them right now. They don't quite have the map control they used to. You look at the dire wards, very defensive wards coming out, so now their jungle's a bit safer, but as it stands, maybe looking to try to push into this Tier 3 tower. Osiris are ready to go. Brax is trying to get to maybe a Shiva, Zor, and Assault Cuirass to help his team out. The next set of items, if they can get there for NA Rejects, I feel like they kind of even things up. Even though there's an Ember Spirit that does a lot of damage, they will have control. A couple BKBs could be super useful up against that Guanzo Timbersaw, who now has, well, Bloodstone charges. Oh, my goodness. Oh. That would have been a rough loss.
Snake King's kind of just, you know, feeling very ambitious here in the bottom lane, using his book and trying to get a push going with the help of his wards. But Os immediately on the scene, using the help of the Manta to quickly burst down these books, inheriting the 100 gold. Very nice. Takes a little bit of damage, but not too cautious of that. Feels elusive enough to get away. And Snake King is still lingering by. They're pinging it out. They see it's there. But we see a bit of a sandwich play here. As in from the north, you can see the rest of NA Rejects smoked up. Going to head through the jungle here. So crucial positioning here. Osiris are still nearby. This could blow up in their face real quick. Os is very low, gets caught out by Theban, jump in, blink, burst down, desperate leap, desperate yellow 360 leap to get away, and will. SN might be caught out and locked down. Disruption though, for a bit of a defense, there goes the early shallow grave on Dismech, a jump in burrow strike from Theban, very nice, but the big burst coming out from Timbersaw, he's booking move in, they get it, Guanzo doing heavy work, and now Snake King trying to TP away, can they stop him? They can't stop him! No, they can, they did!
They got the Searing Chains off just in time, I think, or something, or the Sleight of Fist, and they grab another one on 1437. Guanzo again with the triple kill coming out to help his team along the way towards victory here. And I swear, man, and I'm going to take a bit of a brief kind of just rant and go off on my own thing, but it seems like every time I'm watching this Dota game in particular, it seems like I'm watching like a battle map for like a strategy on the History Channel and that kind of movement you see. But Brax now caught out. There's the Searing Change again. Guanzo almost getting the ultra kill, just not quite in time there to hit that timing to get that, of course, streak going. And they'll have some buybacks, but North American Rejects, it seems like, despite not losing a set of racks yet, they're on their last legs as they just cannot win a fight. Korok is trying to get big, and I respect that, but it's going to be a long way for him. He's got 300 gold, or 3,500 gold in the bank, excuse me, and I don't know, I think you should, you might feel the same way. even if Korok maybe picks up a Desolator or some other crazy item, it feels like it's not going to be enough in this game.
It's not enough, Mon. It will not be enough. And we've seen, I mean, still, Guanzo gets caught out with a Bug Swarm, but this man picked up a Reaver. He could take a punch, but he just kind of stops himself into the corner.
He doesn't do any damage.
Sit there. It doesn't matter. He's trying to bait out the arrow, but...
Korok did, like, no damage there at all.
Yeah.
That's so disheartening for a Weaver player, just to feel like that useless, because Weaver is known for this early game aggression that can pump out the damage, but he's hit this point where Guanzo's inherently tanky, the rest of Osiris are playing well, and he can't find a kill to save his life, and on top of that, he can't split push that well either. I mean, he's tried his best, but it's just not working out. Again, Snake King as well as 1437 are going to head down bottom and look to try to find something, and I don't know. Were you watching those games earlier today between Alliance as well as Sigma? I think you said you had work, so you might not have caught it.
No, I did watch the first debut of the NA Rejects as well as, of course, the ever so classico Alliance and Navi, but I did not unfortunately catch that game.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is that, and I was questioning the pick at the time in terms of like, well, hold that thought. I guess I'll get to that point in just a second here. Is maybe a fight breaking out? No, it looks like no. It looks like the back up. Okay, so what happened was there was an Earthshaker that Misery picked up for Team Dog up against Alliance, and I thought maybe a Sand King would have been better in that regard, but the Blink Echo Slams I think are far more prominent than Epicenters, and you can certainly see how it would be beneficial, but they're going to catch out Os. Is it going to be enough? He's got Leap, he's going to use it. He's got Moonlight Shadow as well. The Stampede's going to fly. Can they catch down Os? Do they have the vision? They've got Necro through. They're not going to pop it. They don't want to continue to chase right now. They don't want to over-pursue and kind of have that same thing happen that's been happening this entire game right now. So Desolator is going to be picked up for Korok. That's the item that he really needed, and still, though.
Just what is the game plan at this point? They're trying to fall back maybe on this strat or having Snake King rather do a bit of a side push on their own. That leaves 4 of them to fight, and finally Korok able to build in a little bit of damage, picking up that Desolator, which we talked about might not be enough, and pretty much all you have left is like a big epicenter and good coordination, a good fight, and hope that Korok can be elusive enough to get out the right clicks to bail out the damage. But as you can see, man, Venomancer pulls out the pipe, and I like this pickup, man. It's going to nullify the potential Team Wombo combo coming out from any rejects. Osiris Gaming just have it all under control right now, and the aggression will continue here. They're looking to make a move on the mid lane.
Well, hold that thought. SN did pick up a double damage rune right now, and so their time is now. He just bottled it up. If they want to go for something, I don't know if there's a better time than right now. They could wait for Roshan, which is up in about 30 or so seconds, I'd say. It'll probably pop up here and might have already done so, but as it stands now, Osiris just need to continue to play this kind of game, and they've pretty much got themselves a victory, assuming they can reach the high ground and not kind of have a throwy fight. Oh, Snakey, don't run in there. Get out of there. Shapeshift, run away. Don't get arrowed. Okay. Looks like he'll stay alive for now, but here comes Guanzo. Here comes SN. Searing Chains up, 1437. No, not again. He's saying, please, I've had enough of this. He'll fall once again, this time to the Venomancer. The Plague Ward actually getting the last hit. Very impressive there, as he really wasn't involved in that kill at all. But once again, another loss going the way of NA Rejects. Smoke up. And looks like the Wolves might have just spotted that. They're going to head into Roche. And now with the help of SN, Os is here as well. This Aegis, and is it Cheese yet? I don't believe so. I think it's just Aegis.
I think this is 2, yeah. This is number 2. It should be just the Aegis itself, but a little bit of a tift happening here in the jungle. Early, just another wolf shapeshift coming out. Snaking has to run away from this one, but they want to go ahead and they quickly take apart Willie's. No problems there, as space has been created, if you will, to take out the Roshan. Here comes the TP, and there's nothing really Timbersaw can do about it. You know, he has a bit of burst, but not enough to take down the big bad wolf, and he will make his retreat out of there. But overall, Osiris, they're relatively happy. If they have to lose support to guarantee an Aegis for themselves, they're fine with that.
Yeah, and Brax was pushing top, but he couldn't get much done. And he's actually taking a lot of damage from those bolas, the Searing Chains. The damage is very real. And, well, the Burrow Initiation, they want to go on SN. The Epicenter as well. The Fire Remnant arrow is up on Thebe, and he's going to fall. 1437, getting caught so far out of position, and just the arrow doing work, but now trying to lock down Os. He'll pounce away. Shapeshift, Moonlight Shadow to disengage. Brax now trying to get out of there. Very low in health. He is barely alive. Dismac with a huge shallow grave, but he'll fall in turn, being a martyr for his teammates' cause. Guanzo missing up on that Timber Chain. Not that it matters. Korok BKB, he's got to get out. Shikuchi's going to head his way, and every single fight coming out from NA Rejects just seems it's thrown together almost. and there's no real cohesiveness to it. It seems like, whereas Osiris, they've got you jump in arrow. If you're getting chased down, moonlight out. Have Guanzo dish out the damage when his abilities are ready to go. The disruptions are there for Willies to make sure that nobody comes in and is too aggressive on the side of NA Rejects. For the rest of NA Rejects right now, it just seems like they can't get anything going their way. Korok TP's in, he gets arrowed immediately. Burrow comes through, the pipe is up for both sides. Stomp, double edge onto 2, Oz getting low. Will pounce away and survive. Desolator doing work. Weaver backing off now. Guanzo trying to take down Brax, but another grave. Guanzo getting low, but still not nearly down. The Aegis, of course, going the way of that Miranda, I believe, surviving and leaping away. Now Oz back up to full health here for the most part. The Rax is getting low. 1437, dead again. That's his 10th death of the game. Guanzo now working on the Rax. His arrow on his mech. That's a full duration. No grave ready to help him out this time. A set of Rax about to fall. TP's back in left and right. NA Rejects doing whatever they can to try to defend this Rax in this base. But it seems like it's a little too late. We'll see.
20 charges now on Guanzo, the Timbersaw. Definitely the clear-cut MVP of this game for his team. He took control of the big game and took control hard. 1 Rax to be taken down. There goes a bit of a pipe for defense. And they might look back. Nope, they're looking to try to linger around. They want to take down both Rax in the end. Wolves to fly out. Brax trying to soak up some damage, but gets caught out with the chains. And here we go. Snake King running in with the shapeshift. Puts his targets on Os. Os gets caught out with the stun and will end up falling. Snake King pulls out the last hit. Guanzo trying to man up right now with the help of the reactive armor and the Bloodstone. Will tank it out and takes down Snake King. The second set of Rax will end up falling here. Rotations come out from Korok. Korok moves in. Big epicenter, but it will not be enough. Disruption defensively to come out, and Classic will live. But they do end up losing Willies. Dismech quickly snipped down with a sleight of fist. 3 down all day. And now make it 4 as Guanzo moves on to a godlike streak, inheriting even more charges for himself. This man's out of control. 24 charges now on this Timbersaw.
In the, I think, unlikely event that Guanzo dies, his respawn will be instantaneous. He will die and then get up in pretty much a second, so...
And then TP back in with Boots of Trap.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it. Finally, NA Rejects, they've had enough. I'd say at this point, they not only were maybe a bit outplayed, but outdrafted as well, and a bit unexpected because of this star-studded lineup. There are going to be growing pains, and it's certainly a rough start going 1-1 against Osiris, but Osiris, the king of just making sure every 2-game series is even, man, and they played a heck of a game. Like you said, Guanzo definitely by far and away the MVP. He's on top of the leaderboards, or at least close there in terms of the ranked MMR leaderboards for a good reason. Man, what a game coming out for Team Osiris here.
Yeah, very nice. Both teams, they seem to, like I said before, when they're on it, they are on it. And when they're not, they just fall off. So, I mean, that could be a mini testament to the draft itself. But either way, props to Osiris and evening things up. We're going to go ahead and move on to our second 2-game series. NA Rejects are going to be back, and we're going to see them take on the Brazilian squad. The house is down.
Yeah, and that should be a great series as well. A lot of action already happening this evening, guys. Our last series is going to be coming up here in just a second. Make sure you guys follow American Dota League on Twitter, which is @AmericanDota, and Twitch, twitch.tv/AmericanDota Check out the ticket. It's $3.99 in the Dota store. You get that nice monolith HUD going your way. And, of course, if you enjoyed the casting, my name is Mont. You can follow me at twitter.com/MontDota2. With me is Coddle Guy, who you can follow at twitter.com/Coddle Guy. And also check out High Ground TV, which is where Coddle Guy, myself, and What Is Hip, we kind of make our home as our new organization, kind of just doing it from the ground up there. A lot of exciting stuff going that way. And, of course, big shout-out to the sponsor, Steel Series, obviously providing a lot of gear to a couple of us here in the ADL, and obviously just being great people overall. So we'll take a quick break, throw up some commercials, and jump right back into it, guys, so stick around.